All right, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. It's nice having you tuning into the program. Still trying to kind of get other people connected. I'll be doing that like in a minute. That's why I just keep seeing the playback keep going up. I mean, back and forth. But I'm gonna get that done so that we can ensure that everybody is online. How is your weekend going? I do believe that you're really having a very great and awesome time. Today, we'll be talking about a very important subject, and then I do hope it's going to be very helpful to as many as will be joining on the program today. I always want to give you an update, especially as regards the COVID-19 situation. Um, Eventually, we are rounding off 2020, and we are still calling this COVID-19. It's it's serious. It's like it just took our. Let me connect with our audience on Instagram. Okay, let's go Instagram. Woo! Voila! Thank you guys. Hi, how you doing? You got anybody wants to connect on Instagram? Please let them know. Heavy and painful periods. Madam Sylvia, how you doing today, ma? Heavy, painful. Oh my word! I want to believe you're doing well. Okay, thank you for connecting. Please, I always ask that. Benny baby. All right, people don't understand what that is. Um, okay, always natural. Madam Kemi, look, how are you? Good evening. It's been a while. Good afternoon, Madam Sylvia. Good afternoon, Miss Amy. Yeah, please let's invite other people. Let them know that the program is starting and it's going to be uh, a very educative program as usual. It's going to be very informative. And then I wouldn't want you to miss this at all. There are people too that should be joining us. I would like you to kind of invite them, let them know that the program is here and the program is starting today. Okay. Well, uh, Mrs. Joker's place. How are you, madam? I'm very fine. I'm doing good. Thank you all. Thank you all. Please like this video as you are watching. If you are watching from YouTube, or Facebook, you can share it. You can also invite others to join. The subject today is a very important one. So I will talk about the COVID situation that is ongoing right now. I will also be talking about a few programs that will be coming up from the stable of nutraceutical-led solution. So if you do not know, nutraceutical-led solution, that is the company under which I operate. That is a platform for which I operate. That was founded in 2014, and we've been doing this for the past 6 years. And it's been it's a lot of real experience. Okay, so we thank God for life. We thank God for everything that is happening, that has been happening. Okay. Uh, First announcement I'll be making is about the bootcamp for this fibroid and fertility, which you may want to attend. It's a 3-week bootcamp. It's scrolling for those who are watching on Instagram and those who are watching on Facebook right now. You can see it there. These 3 weekends, I'll be running a DIY class for whoever would want to join. Uh, it's going to be very intensive, and those people who have come to attend any of our programs would know when I say it's going to be intensive. All our programs are kind of intensive. Sometimes I used to feel for the people who are attending those classes, but this is streamlined to focus majorly on only on fibroid and fertility. People who have issues with fibroid and it's already affecting their fertility, or those who have issues with fibroid alone, probably they don't have anything to do with fertility. But if you have, if you are there, Mrs. Tara Talabi, how are you doing, ma? Good to see you. All right. So if you have that, if you are in that, if you have in that category, you want to glory overflow. How are you? You really want to attend this boot camp. It's 3 weeks. I'll be dealing in the 3 weeks. I'll be dealing about three major aspects that anybody would work on, and they will achieve a whole lot of results when it comes to handling fibroid and then handling the issues of fertility, especially those fertility issues that are uh, uh, that came up because of fibroid. Mrs. Adewumi, thank you so much for joining us. Please click the like button on your YouTube page, YouTube channel as you watch this. Just click the like button. We want that. Mrs. Fumilayo Shamo, how are you, ma? Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I'm not. I'm not. In the course of the week, something occurred to me that yeah, we like to push up testimonies and push up people's testimonials and all of that, but I just feel like does it make you look professional, or it makes you look like many others who are out there who are selling all kinds of stuff and counting. Selling. I kind of feel a bit like it shouldn't be, but again, that should not be a license for anyone to think that what we are doing is not tested, they're not proven. The results are there and they are speaking for themselves. And I believe that the best advertisement you can ever get for whatever you do is when people who use whatever you recommend, they get the results and they go out there and tell some other people. I seriously believe it's the best thing to do. And you are the people who can do that for me and do that for us. I don't want to go low to the point of having to start, posting unnecessary advertisement about people and their testimony. I just don't think it's very professional to do, right? So I would advise that please spread the word, let people know that, well, so you actually used our services and then it was very helpful and very useful to you. Okay, so update on COVID-19 or COVID. Maybe by next year we'll call it COVID 20. The year is going. Actually, the naming it of COVID 19 is because it was discovered in 2019. And that was the first time it came up. But it has taken the entire 2020 from us. And the way it's going right now, it does not look like it's not going to affect a substantial part of 2021. Um, it might take us a whole lot before we can recover completely from the effect of COVID 19. There are some aspects that we will never recover from. The way business is done, a whole lot of things are going to change because of COVID 19. But what I'm trying to say is this, that we are we are nearing what we call the second wave, and the second wave is starting. It has started already. Where I am right now, the numbers we are recording or we have recorded in the last 1 week was not even recorded in that magnitude in the first wave of the infection. And it has been predicted that it might look like that it's going to happen that way, that you're going to have such, right? So my advice is that please, a whole lot of people are still asking me what to do, what not to do. If you go click on our videos, you will see it there. And I want to always give update because things are also changing. I was speaking with a client in the course of the week who had been prescribed with aspirin, and I know that at the beginning of this outbreak, aspirin was totally ruled out. We had said no one should use aspirin, but further researches have proven that, well, some people will be safe with it. But if you still ask me, I will still advise that you still stay away from it. Further studies have shown that, well, a group of people can use aspirin and it will not have any side effect on them. But it's better to be safe than to be sorry. That's the first thing. Number two, you want to boost your immune health. There are no measures for measuring your immune health. And this is what I will keep shouting every time. Certain things by now should be a part of a regular part of your, yeah, as a blood thinner, yeah, should be a part of your, thank you, Mrs. Sylvia, should be part of your diet right now. Whether you're in a boot camp for weight loss, or you're in a boot camp for hormone reset, or you are in a boot, Lady Lydia, how are you? I see you. Or you are in a boot camp for um, whatever boot camp. There is this tea. The people in the weight loss boot camp in June gave it a name. The Christian named the tea and they call it the three combo tea. And what is three combo tea? The three combo tea is a mix of ginger, garlic, and turmeric. And in addition to that, you have lime, either lime or lemon. You add it to it, and then you can put honey for taste if you want it. If you don't, you may not put honey there. You could add honey. You could add date syrup into it to sweeten it. And if you like, just like your tea plain, you can take it plain. Right now, that is one tea that comes highly recommended. If you are living in a zone where the pandemic is still in its peak and is raving, that should be something that you should prepare every morning for your kids. That should be what your tea should be. That should be your beverage right now. Get fresh garlic, fresh ginger, fresh turmeric, chop it, boil it, squeeze in lime or lemon into it, have a little honey or date for taste, and then drink it every morning. That fortifies. Now, the bitter tea, which I've also said here, the bitter tea in 48 hours will clear off every symptom of COVID, the COVID-19 from anybody's blood. People have done that. They've taken the test. But again, that is one part of the story. When I said that now, I laugh because somebody ran with that one part of the story. That one part of the story will give you a relief from COVID 19, and that is what I know. The second part of the story, the Dr. Ajayi is on the show. How are you, sir? The second part of the story is that, oh, wow, Mr. Kibi, you are the Joker's face. Okay, good to know, madam. Good to know. Good to know. How are you, ma? Mr. Kimbi is my evangelist, my marketer and manager in Maryland. All right. Okay, so um the after effect of COVID-19, which there are several symptoms that may come up. And we may not be able to break that down in this session, but there are several things that you can do. The cytokine response or the cytokine storm is one of the after effects, the things that springs up, after people had the COVID, the virus itself has been cleared off, and then people now begin to deal with the cytokine storm, which precipitates all kinds of symptoms that are not even COVID related. For example, how do you relate toothache with COVID? How do you relate hair ache with COVID? How do you relate stomach ache with COVID? COVID is an infection of the upper respiratory tract. So how does it affect your tooth? How does it affect your hair? So those symptoms will come up. Fatigue. People find insomnia. People are unable to sleep. Palpitations. Certain mental health conditions could also spring up. These are things that we had seen and observed that had happened to people after COVID, after getting infected with COVID. And if you are following, probably you must you must have been on our you must have been on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. So I'm sorry, somebody just said certified master herbalist. I've been I've been trying not to include that for so long because people will just be like herbalist. Our mindset about a herbalist is always crazy. We don't want to think like a herbalist. But a herbalist is somebody who studied the use of herbs. A master herbalist is studied the use of herbs to handle certain conditions. And I'm a certified master herbalist for your information. Okay, so let me go back to that topic, right? So all these responses would come, and how do we handle them? So COVID-19 has, so if you are following on our channel, you will find several programs that we have had that would deal with some of these challenges. It was a whole month that was dedicated to the mental health issues, those that could come from COVID-19 and those that came, or that have nothing to do with COVID-19. You want to go back and listen to those videos we did. I think that was in September. I think that was September that I treated mental health issues. And then natural responses and what you can do. You want to look into that. So, but the bitter tea, now the complaint about people is that it's very bitter. And then one of my friends in Maryland, Dr. Morakinyo, he said to me, he said he has never tasted anything as bitter as the bitter tea in his entire life. I said, I said, it is because it's bitter. That's why it's effective. All right. I'm just joking. Okay. So, how do you take the bitter tea? Now, get your three combo tea. Use your three combo tea. If you, Mrs. Sylvia, is the most bitter thing on earth. You haven't tasted other things that are bitter than the bitter tea. Okay. So, let me just give you what to do. Get your three combo tea. Get your ginger, garlic, and turmeric. Now, hard to eat pineapple. Put pineapple on it, into it. If you can get the leaves of Mrs. Kemi Tifasi, how are you, madam? If you can get the leaves of hibiscus, the hibiscus leaf, all right, throw the hibiscus leaf into the mix. And now you're gonna have pour water into it. It shouldn't be too much a pot. And then just lace, like you lace the bitter tea, the tea bag, lace it on top of all the mix and pour the water there. The tea bag is going to come on top, probably sitting on top of all of it because you have a lot. You have ginger, you have turmeric, you have pineapple, you have garlic, all of them mix, and then the hibiscus, whatever. You may not do if you don't have hibiscus. Don't worry, Mrs. Hemem. How are you, madam? Good to see you. If you don't have hibiscus, don't worry. Just use ginger, turmeric, garlic, and pineapple. Dice your pineapple, and pour it into it. Then throw it back into it. It's still going to be bitter, but it's not going to be as bitter as that thing. Yeah. Um, Mr. David said, drink the bitter tea and chew a gum. Okay, you can come with so, but if you try this one I just mentioned now, just drop the tea bag, put it into it, and then boil it, and then just get your glass. I use a sieve. I pour it, the mix through a sieve into my cup, and then I'm going. I'm good. You just drink, and you'll be fine. It's not as it won't be. It will still taste bitter, but not as bitter as that thing. And then if you have your banana beside you, after taking, you can even snack with it. One cup of bitter tea, one mouthful, one bite of banana. It takes everything off you, but you like it. In 48 hours, it's cleared. The caveat there is that for people who do have conditions like high blood pressure, people who have conditions like high blood sugar, you want to be careful. You want to actually take note of this because it seriously drops blood cholesterol. We can also affect your blood pressure readings, so you don't want to go to hypotension, and it also reduces high blood sugar. So you don't want your glucose level to drop below normal. So you then that becomes another case that we don't want to have, right? And that could be very fatal. So this would be what I always recommend. You want to run with these, and then I can assure you that you're going to be fine. There is no need to panic. But let us just be safe out there. Let's do the things that we need to do. So, with that said, I want to move on to the things that we need to talk about for today. Um, so, I'll be talking about what you can do to help painful periods and heavy periods, especially for people who are dealing with issues with uh, fibroids, so many other conditions. But please do not shy away from attending that bootcamp. It starts next week, Saturday, November the 7th, and it's going to run till the 21st of November. The number to call is scrolling on the screen. For people who are watching on Instagram, the number to call is 234-705-358-4066. I take the number again, 234-705-358-4066. You'll be speaking directly with the registrar of the Intracerebral Health College. She's going to give you the directions, details of how to register and get engaged with the program. Okay, so how do you handle painful and heavy periods? Right. Um, the truth is that so many people are having this condition, and then many things can be responsible for it. It can be as a result of hormone imbalance. what we call elevated prostaglandins. It could be as a result of ovarian cyst. It could be as a result of endometriosis. The pain with endometriosis is severe, very severe. And I would want to run a special class for people with endometriosis and how do you conceive despite having endometriosis. I want to run a special class for that. But for this, we're dealing with fibroids and I want to stay on that. Okay. Um, yeah, thank you so much, Madam Sylvia. Thank you. It's good to have you back to save us from all these. Okay. All right. And so it can be these pains can be caused by that. I'm talking now. There are so many pains that comes with our reproductive health. With your reproductive health, I'm not a woman now, so let me not say our fellow widows. Okay, so some of them could be caused by muscle spasms, menstrual cramps. It could be due to trauma from reproductive organs or pelvic floor muscles, trauma from childbirth, miscarriage. You know, some women after childbirth, they go through these pains. The first period could come heavy, could be painful. It could be as a result of nerve imbalance. It could be as a result of reproductive infections like the pelvic inflammatory disease. Or it could be as a result of sexually transmitted disease or infection. Now, all of this could cause some kind of reproductive pain. But today, the remedies I will be preferring probably could work for some of these conditions, but I want to focus more on pains that come from, heavy pains and, heavy period, heavy bleeding, and painful periods that come as a result of fibroid, right? Some of these remedies will also work for people who have ovarian cyst. Yeah, I can guarantee you it will work. Some of them will work for all of these pains, but not all of them. But what I'm trying to say is that these herbs are specifically prescribed for people who have pains as a result of fibroid, right? So, what I'm talking about here. Now, let me explain two things that we want to look at in our method and our approach to healing, as it were. Mrs. Renike Johnson, still here. We are here. Thank you. The two approaches we want to work on is these two of them, and these two approaches is what we'll be considering in handling fibroid, or is what we have been considering in handling fibroid. Number one is to ensure the proper health of, is to ensure uh, the uterine health, the health of the uterus. It's very key. The health of the uterus would determine the balance of these two hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone. So if the uterus is healthy, the production of these hormones are going to be healthy. This will also have to deal with the endocrine system, which signals the production of hormones in the body. Okay? But certain things will be done. If we can ensure that the uterine health is worked on, it's going to be easy for us to reverse any condition whatsoever that is wrong with the uterus, especially with the reproductive health of that individual. Now, the second part of this is to also work on the circulation of blood that flows into the uterus. There is no way we can talk about the health of the uterus without considering the flow of, the circulation that goes into the uterus. And how does that affect the health of your uterus? Now, one of the functions of the blood is to also mobilize and push out of the uterus the excess estrogen when it is produced. If the body is unable to handle this excess estrogen, that is, if the blood cannot filter it out, it flows back. The excess begins to build up. It is the build up that leads to hormonal imbalance, especially when the progesterone is unable to check the imbalance. All right. So if we can actually handle these two aspects, then we are likely, most likely, to control what is going on, whatever it is that is going wrong. It's just like we have handled the cleaning, it's like we've done the cleaning of the uterus. By the way, the uterus itself needs detoxification, it needs the remover of toxins, right? And like I will always say, that we do not just talk about detoxification, we need to talk about further reintroduction or blocking or stopping further reintroduction of toxins into the system. There are people that they detox every now and again. Many people have made some of these, what do you call them right now? This herbal products, laxatives people use for detoxification. They've made it a regular part of their lives. It is only a signal that something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with your system. If you have to rely heavily on those things to detox, that means something is wrong with your system, because your system should detox normally without any external intervention. But when you have to rely on herbal, on roots, on bitter roots, and all of those things to detox, it means something is wrong. You shouldn't rely on them for detox. Every part of your body should go through detoxification. So the reason people rely on this is because each time they detox, they are also always reintroducing toxins into their body. And so when you keep doing that, you are throwing a lot of pressure, a whole lot of weight on the body, which can be avoided in the first place. So we don't only talk about detoxification, we should talk about blocking further reintroduction of toxins into the body. And there are many ways these are happening. A lot of people are doing this unconsciously. A lot of things are being reintroduced into their system. And then they are doing it unconsciously by the things they eat, the things they feed on, their diet, and their lifestyle. I did speak about the fibroid diet last week. You want to go to that video and watch the fibroid diet. That came up last week. Okay, so these are the two things that these herbs will handle, and the moment we can introduce them, they're going to do that. And so one major function of these herbs again is that they handle um, cramps or spasms that are that come from involuntary muscles of the body. So we call them antispasmodic herbs. Antispasmodic herb. So what they do is that they help to relieve the pain from involuntary muscles of the body. And your uterus is made up of such muscles. They are involuntary. So the contraction is what brings about some of the pains that people go through. And so that is why you want to use some people actually tell you to use painkillers. You ask that to use aspirin and the likes of them. And then when you use them, sometimes it does not relieve you. So these herbs will be able to do much more than those painkillers, and much and more is the fact that they do not have side effects if used correctly and rightly. So we call these ones, they are gentle antispasmodic herbs. They are good for relief. They support a healthy inflammatory response. So if there's inflammation, which is the case the reason you feel the pain is because of heavy inflammation. So you want to handle those inflammation. So these are gentle antispasmodic herb, and they will handle the inflammation. And then your body, they will ease minor reproductive discomfort. All of those will be gone. They ease the uterine, they calm the uterine, they calm your uterus, pelvic pain. Whatever side of the body you feel the pain from, these herbs are going to help. So I'm going to start mentioning them. Um, okay. Wow, how do I do this right now? Okay, you want to give me a second. Wow. Okay, I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I wanted to send this to Miss Sylvia so she can help me put this up on Instagram for the people who are watching through Instagram. I can do this from here for those who are watching from YouTube. So the first one is what I call the cramp back. The cramp back, like menstrual cramps. CRAMP back. Back, like BARK. Right? So this one is one of the best herbs that is very good for muscle relaxation. So these are very old herbs that have been in circulation. Thank you very much. Yeah, they've been in use for a long time. So they help to relieve menstrual pains. Uh, I mean, what to use this particular herb? You use them like 2 or 3 days. The moment you should follow your cycle. So 2 or 3 days before your period starts, you start using it. Then it's going to give you very good result. It's not likely you're going to have the pain. It's not likely at all. The pains will not be there. The second one I will talk about is the partridge berry. Partridge berry. Okay, so I think that sounds like a partridge enough. Partridge berry. Okay, it's also called the square vine. It's a gentle astringent herb and it's a tonic to strengthen the uterus. Now, some 2 or 3 days before the cycle, some uterus are weak, which is the reason for the pains they go through, which is the reason. And again, the weakness can also be as a result of the fact that a whole lot of the nutrients the uterus should utilize, they are being mopped up by the fibroid for their own growth. This also happens even when conception takes place. There are times when the fetus, that is the pregnancy, the baby, is fighting, is struggling with the fibroid for nutrients because the same nutrients that feed the fibroid is also the same nutrient that the pregnancy requires for growth. But the fibroid, being the first occupant of that place, begins to do um, begins to collect royalty from from the baby. So before the baby eats anything at all, the fibroid will have mopped up the nutrient. Then it whatever is left that is passed on for the pregnancy to feed on. So, but partridge berry will relieve anyone who is having menstrual cramps. Again, let me also on this note: these herbs should not be used in pregnancy. It's also important for you to take note of this. Pay attention to your body. If you think that you are pregnant, please do not use these herbs. You need to really, really pay attention to your body. You do not use any of these in pregnancy. So the partridge berry is going to help strengthen the uterus, and so it gives the uterus, it gives uterine health, right? So it helps for menstrual cramps, it helps for discomfort that are related to uterine weakness, and it support. And then if somebody had a very painful labor, like a woman who just somebody who just put to bed and the labor was intensive, yes, Patrick Berry, correct, and the labor was a very a prolonged one, very painful one. This herb, that is after the labor, after delivery, this Patrick Berry comes very handy. It helps, right? The third one I'll be talking about is a black haw bark. Black haw. Haw is Haw bark. Yeah, black haw bark. Right. Black haw bark and cramp bark, they are from the same species. That's the same species, but different plant, as the case is, right? And the herbalists use them interchangeably when it comes to reproductive health, right? And um, so when it comes to cramps, these two herbs, the first one I mentioned, the cramp bark, and then this black ore bark. Yeah, yeah, black ore. Thank you so much, madam. Yeah, so very, very, very useful and very, very helpful. It also helps to support the uterus. Weak uterus can be supported with the black ore bark. Bark, bark. Right. So the number four that I will talk about is oat flowers. Yeah, we have the milky oats, right? Oat flowers, right? And this is used commonly in the Western world. So I believe that you by now you really have problem finding many of these. You see, what people talk to me about is like, where do we get all of these things? You see, it is what you look for that you will find all these years. Probably you've even gone into stores right now that you never even knew that they had a chest. They have several shelves that they sell natural products. It's because you were never following natural products. Right now, for example, if I get into any store, it's just natural for me to look out for organic stuff, look out for natural products, because that is what I want to look for. There's what you want to look for that you will eventually get. So my advice is to kind of look for them, look in your store, go online and find them. But again, if you need help, please do not shy away from consulting, even if you have to pay for consultation. That's what I always tell people. It's always better to be safe than to be sorry. And then someone can put you through. A herbalist can put you through. A naturopath can put you through. A natural health specialist can put you through. right? So I'm not saying it has to be intracellular solutions, but ensure that you get professional help in this regard so that you can be well guided. Because there are also brands that are being promoted online that cannot be vouched for. They promise, but they cannot deliver. In the United States of America, the FDA had come up heavily on people who sell supplements, that most of the supplements that are found on the shelf do not even deliver half of the things that they promise. And we know some of those brands, but we know the brands that have been there and that are trusted and tested. So, sometimes when people just tell me, how do you know these things? I know by their labeling, I know by the kind of advert, the kind of packaging they have. I can tell you this is not real. I can tell you this is hyped. I know those ones that are hyped. I know those ones that are not real at all in any sense. I know those that are just natural. You will see. I mean, with years of experience in this, I can tell you, okay, this, I can tell you this, I can tell you that. So you want to go for professional help. The oat flower is a very good one. It's been used in the Western world for PMS symptoms, cramps also, and it's also for women who have issues with women who have issues with sex, like dry vagina, painful intercourse. The oat flower is one herb, that comes in and comes in very, very helpful. All right. The next one I will talk about is becoming so popular. People who were in the hormone reset class use this. I recommended it. The Jamaican dogwood, Jamaican like in Jamaica, and dogwood, dog wood. The Jamaican dogwood is one other one that you really want to pay attention to. What's in my eyes that you want to pay attention to is one herb that is very potent. As a matter of fact, is one of the most potent herb when it comes to fallopian. Mr. Lopi, how are you? Mrs. Tinuka, good to see you after several months of running away from me. Okay. I told you guys now, doctors have no friends. People only come, remember that doctors when they are sick. So once they are okay, everybody leaves you. It's no problem. It's good. Okay, so um, Jamaican dogwood is one of the most common, most potent, most effective herb when it comes to female reproductive health. As a matter of fact, I do not even see any condition that you may want to have with your reproductive health that you may not want to use the Jamaican dogwood. So many PCOS, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, blocked fallopian tube, you will need the you will need the Jamaican dogwood. Is very, very effective, especially when it is now used and in capsule combination. You combine it with black hallback that I spoke about earlier on. And the next one that I want to talk about, which is the kava kava. The kava kava root, I remember I mentioned this kava kava in was it in April or so, when I first spoke about the weight management and women. I was talking about menopausal symptoms and the likes of them. I think in that first video, I spoke about kava kava root. It also calms the body. It helps emotional health for women. It's also very helpful when it comes to relieving heavy pains and periods. This would also help, especially for painful periods. It's going to help. The kava kava would help. And like I said again, it should be used like a few 2 or 3 days before the period starts. Ginger roots. I know many of you are aware of ginger right now, but you might not even know how good ginger is. Right? Ginger root is very effective. My advice is that make sure you get organic ginger. Um, Last week or so, I did a very little experiment. I just experimented with organic and inorganic ginger, the normal one ginger that is sold in the market, and I took the organic one, fresh organic one. The organic one, it was like more spicy than the other one. Even when it is boiled, you feel the sharpness, so pungent taste in your taste buds. You feel it there. It's alive. That's the word to use. The organic ginger comes so much alive. Ginger is a very potent herb when it comes to inflammation, and you want to use ginger to control inflammation, because the pains that we're talking about here, they are pains that are due to inflammation because of the hormonal distortion and because of the fibroid growth. So you want to use ginger to undo that. Ginger root, very, very good. Very, very good. Turmeric root is also another important one. I know you've heard of turmeric root before. So turmeric root is also very, very effective. Right. So I've mentioned about 9 herbs altogether. I think there are 9. Yeah. If you missed any. Oh, number 9 is the white willowback. I will not forget the white willowback, Salix arbor. That's his name. That's his scientific name, Salix arbor, the botanical name. So white willow, it also works very well. It relieves hormone-related headaches or mild inflammation. It will also work for heavy periods. To control heavy periods, this will also work. Now, in the boot camp, I'll be talking about how do you combine these herbs. I'll be talking about how do you blend them, how do you use them, aside listing them. Like I said, it's a DIY class. I would take it for 3 weeks because you are not going to reverse all of these conditions in one day. You would need to study your period for 3 to 4 months, consistently using these herbs. So I will not be there to, be taking you through 3, 4 months. No. So we teach a DIY approach. I will also talk about the kinds of massage, some other therapies that you can do for yourself, that you don't need another person to come do for you, that you can do on your uterus. And many women don't even know. If you tell them to touch, to feel their fallopian tubes, where is your fallopian tube? On their body. Where is their ovary? On their body. They don't even know where it is. And you can feel your ovaries right without yourself. You can feel your ovaries. You can feel your uterus. There are veins that supply blood to your uterus that you can stop for like 35 seconds. You need to do that as a matter of fact. You can stop. You notice you okay. So I'm letting the cat out of the bag, right? But no problem. Go call the number on your screen, register for that class. Because I'm going to show you how to do that, where you can actually stop the flow of blood. Yeah, and you need that. People who were in the Nutraceutical Health College, when we're talking about oxygenation and why the oxygen flow is important. One of the areas you have to work on your uterus again in maintaining the health of your uterus is to kind of replenish the flow of oxygen that goes into the uterus. And how do you do that? Is that you stop the flow of blood, then you allow there will be a back build up. At the stop, it's a vein. You just press it. Once it's pressed and it's held down, the flow stops. You do it for the right and then you do it for the left. Once the blood flow stops, like for 30 seconds, you release it. The new release, the new gush will be a new gush, a new release of oxygen that goes into your uterus. All of this is going to help your uterus cleanse. Cleansing your uterus is very key. I was speaking some weeks back when I said, when you see cases of people who have their period like for 5 days, 3 days, the first 2 days, heavy bleeding, third day is normal, fourth day is normal, day 5, spotting, or just spot, or day 5, you see the blood colored in brown and all kinds of colors that are not brilliant red. Your color, the color of your period should be brilliant red. If it's not brilliant red, if it's dark red, if it's black, if it's brown, all kinds of any other color shows that there's a serious problem that needs to be attended to. All right. So one of the things that could happen is because your uterus is not properly cleansed after the period. Some people have residues of things that should be pushed out that were not pushed out, and then you need to resolve this. How to resolve these are one of the things I will be discussing during this 3 week boot camp. You want to be there, please register, call the number, and then let them give you the registration details so that you can attend that boot camp. I will speak about these herbs. I will talk about other therapies that you can also use, like the massage that I spoke about right now. And then for the pain, for the heavy period. Now, if you have attended our program before, I've always spoken about the aspect of diet. Diet modification is very, very important. We do not recommend any particular diet or whatever, but you want to listen to the tape that I did, the video of last week where I spoke about the fibroid diet. It mentioned things to avoid, things to intentionally take out from your diet, and things to intentionally include in your diet. No matter what herb you use, no matter what you do, if you do not block the further introduction of toxins into your system, then it will be very impossible or very difficult to bring about a cure. All right, I'm going to wind up on this note today. And I hope to see you again same time next week Saturday. By next week Saturday, we will have started the boot camp for uh, fibroid and fertility. But from next week Saturday, I'll start talking about people who have issues of amenorrhea. Amenorrhea is when ovulation and period is completely absent in women. There are people who have such. I will also be talking about people who have blocked tubes that have been blocked. How do you open up the tubes with natural herbs, with natural tips, what you can do, how to open blocked tubes, right? There are people who do not even know that they are dealing with blocked tubes. And blocked tubes could be as a result of injury that has been caused or inflicted on the on the uterus. These injuries could be as a result of DNC. It could be as a result of surgery. Some as a result of hysterectomy or other surgeries that were done in the bid to remove fibroid or any other thing from the uterus, and then the scar tissues begins to grow. Once the scar tissues grow, they begin to block the tube. So that blockage, how do you remove it? So this will be my focus in the month of November. And funny enough, November is my birth month. I won't tell you the birth date, but it's my birth month. So I want to help as many ladies as possible to be able to conceive, right? That's a very good gift to give out to people. So in the month of November, I'll be speaking seriously on conception, on fertility, and infertility. And I will not just be addressing women alone. I will also be talking to men. But if you have been following me, you know I've always said it that look, for men, there are about three things we need to address when it comes to cases of fertility. But for women, there are a whole lot of things that we will consider. So maybe in the month of November, I will dedicate three weekends to talk to women, and then one particular weekend to address the issues that have to do with men when it comes to fertility. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of your program today. I'm your regular host. I still remain the Jalabi. I have not changed my name yet. So, and I'm not willing to change it anytime soon. Right. I would like to come your way again some other time. Next week. Let's make it a date. Thank you so much. Is we're going to do the recording today, or somebody's just joining. You can watch the repeat. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on YouTube. Also going to be on our Facebook page. All right then. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.